Artlist.io.
We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Shoot 'em my shot while I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stay down, never switched up. Only thing changed was the game. I'm in the zone now. Nothing can change what we on now. When I pull up, know it's going down. Put on the gas, ain't slowing down.
Music licensing reimagined.
Running the game now. Foot on the gas, get slow down. No, my team we holding it down. You know we running it now. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change.
Artlist.io. Artlist.io.
Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Tell them it's like it's I'm taking a shot for my enemies. I can't waste no more time on my energy. I know they know I got it on lock. Go against me, that's a long shot.
Music licensing reimagined.
Taking the lead now while they watching. Think you should leave now while the option. Taking the work, yeah, I gotta win. Watch me kick out, I know they won't let me in. I'm running the game now. Foot on the gas, get slow down. No, my team we holding it down. We know we running it now. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Music licensing reimagined.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. A 33 brother. What's going on? Man, listen. On behalf of the NFL, I would like to apologize for the game that was just shown on Thursday Night Prime. It wasn't even a game. It really was. I thought the Monday night game was bad, and that was my team. But this had it beat as the Buffalo Bills went down to Miami and they just put that work in. They chopped them down. 31-10. Wasn't a competition after halftime. Seemed like a lot of the guys gave up in the third quarter. But like I can't, if I read these stats to you, like, well, how the hell did these people win, right? But let's just go right at it, right? Let's just polish this game off. Okay, Josh Allen had I don't even know if you want to call this a good game. 13 of 19, 139 yards, 1 touchdown. But, he ain't turned the ball over. James Cook had 2 touchdowns rushing with 78 yards on 11 carries. Yeah, I didn't listen. It was dreadful to watch. But James Cook got 78 yards on 11 carries, 2 touchdowns rushing. He had 1 touchdown reception for 17 yards. And that was just a telltale story of the whole daggone game. It wasn't. I can't even describe how this game went. I don't know who did what, when, and where, right? So, but now let's check out Miami stats, right? So then you go to Tua. Tua had 17 for 25, 145 yards, 1 catch, and 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. Now the running back A-Chain, he got a lot of his yards in the second half. He had 96 rushing yards, but that wasn't even like this game was just very minute. And he was the leading receiver, right? Yeah, Tua got injured in the game. They got him in concussion protocol. Sometimes when you have a division game, right? Tua, you believe that you'll get a good game out of it, but I think Josh Allen's record against the Dolphins since he's been there is 13-1. I don't. It's like they don't care where they play these people at. They're going to punish these people wherever they go, whether it's the playoffs, whether it's for the division. It's like they are afraid of the Bills, and you cannot be a winning team when you are afraid to play against your opponents. I mean, your rival. Ain't nobody done nothing for the. Listen, it's amazing how the quarterback. We talking about Jaden Waddle, the receiver, Jaden Waddle. It's just amazing how there's people that get paid, and then us being regular people, uh, we say, you know what, he ain't done nothing to deserve that $145 million contract or whatever his contract was to his new contract. And then you go out here as soon as, all right, you won against the Jags. Okay, cool. But as soon as you play a winning team, your record against winning teams is very suspect. But they feel like you the guy. And then you get all this money. And the very first game that's meaningful is a division game. And you go out there and put up a goose egg. You can't do that. You can't do that. My question is, how is the locker room rallying around this? Like, yo, we can't beat these people. Since you've been here, we probably beat them one time. We might be 1-7, something like that. Since you've been here, hey, come on, you can't keep doing that, right? But they're gonna make Josh Allen look like a superhero. Even like I just said, he only had subpar numbers, right? He didn't do nothing to impress me either. This is why these are one of these games that they put these games on Prime, and it's like you wasted my time. I'd have had to pay $7 a month for this type of game. I don't want it. You know what I mean? But you got to go by the schedule, and the fact that Buffalo went down there and smacked these people, it's crazy. It's very sad, And then now all of a sudden, now Miami is questionable now. Oh, they did a good job against the Jaguars. They came back against the Jaguars. Like, we ain't expecting the Jaguars to do too much on defense. They'll fight for a playoff position, but now when you got the reigning division champs come to your house, you put up a goose egg. But then you want the respect from the league, and you can't blame this on Tyreek Hill in the situation with the police. That was days ago. He came back, he played. They couldn't get nothing going. And it's like that every time they play a team with a winning record or a team in their division, for the most part. Like it's just horrible. It's horrible that they come out here and get the prime time game and then put up a goose egg and then wonder why they don't get the respect. Because when it's time to show, when it's time to shine, when the lights is brightest, you guys, you stink up the joint and then wonder why nobody respects you. Well, will they win the division? Will they compete? I don't know. Not the way they just performed today. Okay, it's week 2. That's what everybody going to use as an excuse. But no, you can't continue to use that as an excuse. Okay, so if it's week 6 and they do this again, then what? I think week 6 they play the Patriots. After what I saw today, I don't even know if they could beat the Patriots. That was crazy. And it's not because my team is the Jets and they rival the Jets. It's not had nothing to do with that. It's like a fact that every time since he's been the quarterback, they had to play a meaningful game. He had to step up and do something. The majority of times he hasn't. But this is why quarterbacks is being paid so much, and this may be the most overpaid position in sports. Period. Because while there may be 1 or 2 doing it correctly, what about the other 28? If there's 5, what about the other 25? You see what I'm saying? Like you can't keep paying them like they're Patrick Mahomes. You can't keep paying these people like they're Joe Montana or Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady's not coming back. But you can't be giving them $240 million guarantee. I mean $231 million guarantee. That's Dak Prescott. That's his contract. But he's 2-8 in the playoffs. So are you paying him for the regular season or the playoffs? Right? It's just horrible. I'm sorry. It's just a damn shame that there's people out here that's getting this money that even in a regular spectator's eye, they don't deserve it because they're not producing when it's time to produce. And Tua is going to be one of those quarterbacks this year. He has to turn it around soon, or else they're going to say, you know what, we gave this man all this money for nothing. And that's one of the craziest parts about it. As an individual, you want them to get their money, but as a fan, you're saying why? As a person that watches sport, how? What has he done to get that money? Excuse me. Why is he deserving of all of this money? And those are the things that you got to really look at as far as the quarterbacking in today's game. Where it said, I'm happy the Lions passed on him. I was disappointed at first, but that's why I watch and don't draft. But that's the thing, right? The college game is different, right? You see Lamar Jackson throwing the ball and running for 150 yards and getting 200. Yeah, you playing like the 91st defense in all of the country. These professionals is 1 out of 30. You know what I mean? Like for like 28 teams. Okay, so what's going on? When you play these teams, you show up and you don't perform, but then you getting MVPs and then you getting these extra contracts, these $400 million contracts and all of these things, but you don't perform when it's time to perform. What do you think people are going to say? I mean, they may not be they may be fans and not owners of the league, but that taxes that they're paying for that daggone stadium, it goes to you guys some way, shape, or form, right? Because while they collecting the billions, you collecting the millions. So all they fans ask for is, hey, could you do better? Can you give us a momentary satisfaction of producing a victory when you playing a team like Kansas City Chiefs? And in Miami case, anybody that wins. So no, I mean it's hard to watch. It was very hard to watch. I'm sitting there, I'm grunting like, oh my god, I really have to sit here and watch this for the stats purposes and see the way that these guys are moving around. When they took Tyreek Hill and Jayden Waddle out the game, they sitting there like, damn, what did we sign up for? You know what I mean? And I get it for both teams, but even for both teams, they both played Sunday, right? This is another thing that the NFL, they don't care about these people's health. For me, that's the biggest story. Why are you sitting there playing these people 4 days after a grueling game that they played on Sunday? Half of the team could be hurt, but they got to play Thursday. What you gonna do? You gonna pick up journeyman? You gonna pick up somebody in the backyard? Hey, you play football? All right, you play my line, papi. ¿Qué pasó? And throw on one offensive line? No, you can't do nothing like that. This is a serious thing. My discernment been told me not to watch, but I had to watch, and just to see the what I saw, and it was factual. The Miami Dolphins, they still have not shown that they can beat a winning team. They still haven't shown that they're ready to play when it's time to play with the big league. But everybody wants to believe, okay, they can compete for the division. Oh my gosh, they can compete for the playoff spot. Oh my God, can they challenge? No, they can't challenge no damn Kansas City. You can't even challenge the Buffalo Bills. They running the ball all over you. They only throwing the ball 19 times. They play ball control against you guys. Ball control is something that back in the days, you running the ball and play action pass, and that seems to be coming back. Right? And they don't seem to know nobody's stopping the run no more because everybody's so used to the air game. Everybody getting 300 yards passing. Some of these people getting 100 yards receiving. Commander, good evening. And it's like, you can't perform like that. Right? The same way I'm talking about, the same way I spoke about the Jets is the same way I'm speaking about the Dolphins. You cannot come out of here and do something like that. You can't lay up a big old goose egg. What you gonna say? You wasn't prepared? This is a division game. I don't care if you played the next day. Division games are always supposed to be tough. That game was not tough. I'm sorry to tell y'all that, but that game was not tough. Not at all. That was a horrible game. And And for those people that were subjected to watch it, I truly apologize. And I don't even have I don't have D stocks in the NFL. I may invest in the name brand and all of that other stuff, but nah, they can't do that. Don't do that no more. You understand what I'm saying? But now we just gonna turn it over a little bit, right? We're gonna talk about the elephant in the room for the NFL, right? As you most of you guys may or may not know, they named the halftime performance for the Super Bowl this year, and it's Kendrick Lamar. I don't I don't know what they go through to pick these people, but I know normally, just like last year, wasn't the Super Bowl? Which Super Bowl was in LA when they got 50 in there, like he from LA. If you're gonna represent the town, let the town be represented by the people that's there. Now, like I just said, the NFL Super Bowl will be in New Orleans, in the Superdome. Trying to tell me there's nobody from Louisiana you can't that can't represent it. That can't be the lead song person from New Orleans, right? I know everybody want Little Wayne. I don't really, he got music and like stuff like that, but they may be feeling like I don't know what they feeling because Jay-Z is part of the team that picks the person. Now they're gonna speculate that I ain't hating Commander. They're gonna speculate that Jay-Z and Wayne got beef. I don't know what it is. All I know is that you're supposed to have somebody from that town represent. You know what I mean? Like when the Super Bowl was in Detroit, I forgot who did the Super Bowl, but I know it was somebody from Detroit, though. You understand? It just makes sense that somebody represent, right? Dr. Dre, right? Dr. Dre did the one in LA, right? Okay, cool. He's supposed to. When they was in Atlanta, who they had from Atlanta? Was it I forgot who it was. I think it was Jermaine Dupri and whoever he brought up. But you are representing that town with the people that you know is from that town. Of course, they're going to get flack for this because that man is not from Louisiana. So why would they even pick him? So I understand why, some people feel that way. Some people is up in an uproar. But at the same time, man, what are y'all going to do? Y'all going to boycott the Super Bowl? We ain't watching the Super Bowl because Kendrick is there. They play that They Ain't Like Us or whatever the hell that song is. People are going to flock to that TV. People are going to run down to that stadium, to that podium, to that stage that they're going to make at that Super Bowl and act like they ain't like us. They ain't going to do that. And for what? He's not from there. I'd rather rep my hometown. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even remember who did the Super Bowl in Jersey or New York, however you want to put it. It was in Jersey, but it was supposed to be in a tri-state area thing. And I don't even remember who did it, but I know it was somebody from New York, though. That's all I'm saying. You got to represent the town. I don't care if you say, you know what, Master P, you bring out who you want to bring out. Y'all could have did that and then let them fight it out. Damn, P, you ain't want Birdman and them to come out. Nobody care about that. You know what I mean? They may still add the representation, but all right, like Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre is the name from the town. So when they did it in LA, all right, we know he's from Compton. All right, you from that area. Excuse me, then you pick who you want to pick. Mary J. Blige, 50 Cent, Eminem. Okay, cool. But the person who's in charge is from the city. That's the thing that's making people go in an uproar. You got to be from that town in order to rep that city. And I'm presuming Kendrick is not from that city. Right? They could have put little Romeo on. Let Romeo, go ahead. You go ahead and do. I don't care who do it. But if it reps New Orleans, then you can't really be in an uproar. You may say, you know what? He's not better than Lil Wayne. Okay, y'all had that conversation behind the scene. But somebody need to be repping it first before you put somebody out there. Like I said, Jermaine Dupri did it. Dr. Dre did it. I don't remember which one Janet was in, but I don't even know if they was the same town, but it don't matter. But now that they're doing selected cities and stuff like that, you got to pick the right person to represent that spot. What's the point of doing it if you're not going to represent the spot? But maybe I'm off. Maybe they doing it because Kendrick Lamar will sell more. I don't care if he sell more. Right, and that's what I'm saying. Dre did headline the one in L.A., and that's my point. He's from L.A. He's from Compton, so him and Snoop. All right, listen, we're gonna crip walk all over the place, but they from the area, so that's cool. Now, when you add the backup, the extra people in there, the Mary J's and the 50 and the Eminem. Okay, so now that they all right, let's say they do Detroit in the next couple of years. Are they gonna use Eminem because they used them before? Or who they gonna use? Or they gonna go Motown? Nigga, nobody want to hear no Motown all goddamn day. And no Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? It's the selections that bothers people. Not that it's a particular person. It's more of the selections. And Jay will always gonna get blamed for that because he's the head figure for the NFL as far as the entertainment part of the Super Bowl. And he got I don't agree with the choice. I don't know how you guys feel, but that was not a good choice for anybody to sit there and say, all right, we're gonna go with Kendrick. They'll go bring Lil Wayne in. He just not headlining. The Rolling Stones did Detroit. They really only started getting people from the city when Jay got involved. Okay. Well, then he need to get the people from the cities involved then. Right? Like, man, the Rolling Stones ain't from Detroit. They could have put Smokey Robinson up there. I don't care who they put. You know what I mean? Is Matt? But is Master P a safer pick than Kendrick Lamar? We know they ain't gonna pick but so many people. They could have put the Jazz Man up there and something like that. I don't know, but he can be safe all he want, but he doesn't rep the town. That's just like you saying, you know what? I'm gonna go to Chicago and rep for Detroit. That ain't how that go. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? But I just never understood how they go ahead and pick those type of games, and I mean pick those type of performances and stuff like that. Yeah, if y'all scared that we're gonna have another Janet Jackson moment, just say so. Like Jesus, like come on. That's ridiculous. But it's just awkward that they'll pick the outsider from not from the town, but reject the people from the town who may be doing things that help the community, so on. So, like I said, pick Master P then. Pick Master P. He might not have no hit records in a little while. Which I thought Silk Shocker was gonna come out of jail talking about he the shit on the label. Like, what are y'all talking about? But you gotta rep the town. You have to rep the city. What's the point of doing these rep the city situations when you ain't gonna have the actual people that really rep the city? You know what I mean? So I find that very interesting. But hey, I don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I'm just new to this thing. So who the hell am I? Look at Hecky now. Yeah, it is pop. But that's what I'm saying. When you bring politics into sports, man, it's a dangerous arena, man. I totally agree wholeheartedly. I agree with that wholeheartedly, but you can't turn around and just throw a name out of the hat. Okay, well, y'all might as well brought somebody from Houston. I don't care who you brought, but dang, Kendrick Lamar. But like you said, it's all politics, and politics is going to destroy everything anyhow. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have a place in sports. You let these guys battle it out. The best team win. That's how it used to be. But I know there's going to be some conspiracy theory behind that. Like, they do it now. They telling you who's going to win anyhow. Like, oh my god, y'all just trying to ruin everything for some people. Let it be like Santa Claus is coming out for Christmas. Like we a bunch of little kids. Let us keep that energy. Okay, they're gonna play hard, and who the best team gonna win? Because now when you look at it, okay, now you're gonna speculate. Oh, he ain't try hard for the ball. or he ain't try to score because they trying to keep the score down low and everybody's picking under or over or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like that's just the worst part of this thing, and it stinks to high heavens. And it's too much going on for them to be going through all of those type of situations. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But I like this game was so terrible. You can't even have a long pregame. I mean, a long post game show because of it, right? You know what I mean? So I'm over here stretching and reaching for things. Oh, by the way, side note, even though I'm talking about football tonight, last night, congratulations to Asia Wilson as she becomes a single season score, the most points scored in a single season by anybody in the WNBA. And that's another political point, right? Now, nobody ain't said nothing that she was getting ready to strive and break this record, right? They talking about Caitlin Clark and they talking about Angel Reese and all of these other things. But this woman is the two-time defending champion, and y'all just bypass her like she ain't the Kraft cheese. She the imitated the cheese, and that's what this is what I'm saying. This is why when you watch sports, if you truly value sports, you got to value it in everything that it is. Okay, we understand the WNBA is not like the men's basketball. It's not anything spectacular as far as them not dunking and doing all of that other stuff. But the respect is due. That woman did something that nobody has never done. She scored 956 points. She's may reach 1,000 by the last game of the season. And then y'all wanna add people to the MVP list when she's doing everything possible to keep her team in it in good playoff position. I'm excited for the playoffs for them. Right? I'm excited to see what they can do. Will they three-peat? Maybe not. I don't think so. But if they do, that'll be a happy thing. Because, hey, that's something that, men can't do. That'll be a great story. But what's going to come with that great story? It's going to be some hypocritical stuff like, oh, no, they staged so women's rights. And like, oh, don't do that. If you understand the game, they playing the game the way they're supposed to be played. You know what I mean? They going to work. They going to practice. They doing everything that they need to do to get ready for their next opponents. Don't sell these ladies short, because at the end of the day, they're giving their hearts into this. And some of them, even when the season ends, they going to China and Portugal to play basketball. They saying this is their breadwinner. This is their craft. They want to master their craft. So shout out to them. But now we sit here and look at the NFL and people want to hold out hundreds of millions of dollars and then come into their very first game talking about they tired. I'm out of breath. You're going to be out of breath. You didn't practice. So what you think is supposed to happen when you go ahead and do things like that? You're like, that doesn't make sense. I got a question, right? Do we think that these players, these athletes are in it for the money or are they trying to win championships? Because what I'm seeing is something different. I don't know. I might be blind, but that's going to be I think I'm going to put that as a poll for some people. Either, I don't know when, maybe, when the channel grows, I may ask that question. I just find it weird that, there's people that's worrying about $250 million and they'll go to the sorriest team that gives you $250, not having a chance to win. How do you play sports when you don't give yourself a chance to win? I get it. It's a get quick scheme, get rich quick scheme for a lot of people. Whether it's the parents, whether it's the bookies, whoever it is. But you sitting there signing that's like somebody signing $100 million and going to play with the Giants. Why would you sign for $100 million? They stink. But you'll turn around and say, well, I got my money. And that's the point, Commander. So that's why I said if they playing for money, don't cry that you ain't getting no championship. That in itself is going to dilute the Hall of Fame. What do I mean? How they're going to dilute the Hall of Fame? Because these people ain't going to have they may have numbers, but they all like wishy-washy numbers. then you're not going to not have that honor. You just going to get the, if you do get to the Hall of Fame, you get to pick the team. A lot of people ain't going to pick the teams that they was supposed to have been loyal to, or whatever the case may be, or that gave them their first chance. They're going to look for the team that may pay them the most. All right, well, we paid you, so now you got to cheer for Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson going there as a Pittsburgh Steeler. No, good. Well, your start was in Seattle. See what I mean? It's just weird how this thing goes, and it's personal politics, but then it's actual politics. Because once you make that selfish decision and it don't make sense to nobody but you, then you're going to criticize it like, oh, I should have did it. It's too late. You made that decision. Go ahead and stay with your decision and roll with it. You know what I mean? But it's a lot. Hey, word, is there a fight? Is there a fight, actual boxing fight, or is that a UFC fight Saturday? So I'm gonna go ahead and, I'm gonna try to figure out what's going on. If there's a boxing match, I'll probably be on Saturday. But if not, I got the rest of Sunday. I already made my picks the other day. I may put it on a community wall once again, who I'm picking. I may even add scores to the list. But, like I said, I am so sorry that I had to come up here and talk about other subjects, but that primetime AFC East battle was not even a battle. It was like, the little kid splashing water on the parent, and then, the parents do the whole whirlpool type scenario action. That's how it was. Because the Buffalo Bills went up there. They took all the fight out of the Dolphins and beat them 31-10. So it's just a horrible aspect. I thank you guys for coming up. Like I said, if anything, if I do a Saturday fight thing, I'm gonna put Muhammad Al Word up here so he could talk about the fighting aspect and things like that. But if not, we'll do the regular Sunday night routine as all. What is it? The other 13 games will be played, and then we gotta wait for the Monday night game. But I do thank y'all for sitting here and listening to this rant. I just apologize. Like I said, this game was not even worth speaking about. But, if I can update you on what's going on in other sports at the same time, that's what's up. I know word, listen, SmackDown has been moved to USA Network. And I believe they're getting 3 hours. So they might be 8 to 11 Friday. So that's just a heads up for anybody that watch wrestling and wanted to update on that. But that's just what's going to be tomorrow. But I thank you guys for coming through, listening to this post-game conversation. As like I said, the Miami Dolphins went down heavy to the Buffalo Bills, 31-10. The Dolphins is now 1-1, but more importantly, they're 0-1 in the division. Buffalo's 2-0 with the 1 game lead in the division. As I guess this may be the beginning of division play for a lot of teams this week. I can't remember. I'm not sure, but I know these two are in the same division. And Miami just gave away the upper hand with the poor performance that they gave tonight. Whether it was the offensive line and people were missing, I don't know. That's what they're going to say. That's going to be the excuse. But there's something called effort. You have to bring the effort regardless. I don't care if you're down 50 to, like when last year when they beat them people 77-20. There was no effort. Tonight was no effort by the Dolphins. They played decent like in the first 20 minutes, and then they disappeared the rest of the game. It's 60 minutes in the game. You're supposed to give your best. Herm Edwards said it best. You play to win the game. If you're playing to win the game, how do you not give the performance to win the game? That victory wasn't going to fall out the sky from y'all. Why? Because you thought you prayed for it? No. It's effort. You know what I mean? The effort is what brings you your victory. Even if you're having fun, the effort of you trying to have fun is more of a momentum for the person that's doing this for the financial part. Why? Because if they're doing it for the fun, it's going to be fun for them. You doing it for the money, it's like, oh, I gotta follow their rules and regulations. That's the difference. But you know, effort was not shown tonight by the Miami Dolphins, and they paid the price for it. But like I said, I truly thank you guys for coming through, stopping by the Channel 9 Bat Cave. That's what I'm gonna call it next time. The Channel 9 Bat Cave. Shout out to the Nine for coming through and having a conversation about this game and the sport of football as a whole. So I'm gonna sign off until next time, everybody. I appreciate y'all showing up, and I'm out.